WWRR, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, WMMZ, Berwick, Bloomsburg, Hazleton, WYCK, Plains.
Powered by Mohegan Sun Poano.
The River, 105 and 103.5.
This is Music on the Menu on the River.
Timothy, where on earth did you go?
Featuring Northeast PA's best artists.
Maybe, never mind. She can move me like the stereo, like a song on the radio. She's an angel in the morning, yeah, that's right.
And now, here's your host, Alan K. Stout.
So I got that going, which is nice.
All right, everybody. Happy Sunday night. Welcome to Music on the Menu on the River. Alan K. Stout with you as I always am. Sunday nights, 9 to 10. Bringing you regional artists from northeastern Pennsylvania, doing their own original music, hanging out with D.C. Taylor. D.C., how are you?
All right, Alan. How we doing?
I'm doing fine because not only are you and I here as we always are, but we've got two guests with us on the program tonight. Bret Alexander sitting to my right, who has not been with us probably in a year and a half, which is probably a record for you.
Probably.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Great to see you, Bret.
Great to be here.
Welcome,
Great to be back.
Welcome here in the studio. He's been here with us many times over the years, talking about his projects and his music. And on the phone with us, Mike Lombardo, the mayor of Pittston, a longtime friend of Bret's, and one of the principal organizers of the upcoming Pittston Prohibition event, which is coming up next Sunday. Mike, welcome to Music on the Menu. Thanks for joining us on the phone.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great to be here with everybody. It's great to talk to you, Alan, in D.C., and it's always great to be with my good friend, Bret Alexander.
Now, the reason that we wanted to bring you all together here on the show tonight is because I was actually on vacation about 3 weeks ago, and Mike gave me a call and said, I'm going to give you the scoop on something here, and that he had basically helped orchestrate a reunion of the Badleys, and that they were going to be performing in Pittston at this Pittston Prohibition event coming up next Sunday. So, I was immediately excited about that. Obviously, I'm a fan of the group, and anything that Bret's been involved with, I've been a fan of for almost 30 years now. Mike and Bret, you're both here together. Tell us how this reunion came together, because I think I know maybe a little bit of the blueprint. The Badleys performed for the very first time together in about 10 years with the original band anyway, at the Harrisburg Music Hall of Fame back in July.
July 1st.
I couldn't remember if it was the end of June or July, so it was July 1st. And that went well. I mean, look, I was there. It looked like you guys had a good time playing 3 songs. I'm assuming that maybe at some point Mike steps in and says, "Hey, would you like to do some more of these?" How did this all happen?
Bret, you want me to cut it? Well, why don't I answer first? Because Bret, because he's Gentleman East, will be much more polite about it than I am. I've actually been annoying Bret forever. He won't tell you that, but I've been driving him crazy. So a long time ago, when I first got involved in politics and was trying to get things done, I found that if I hounded people long enough, they would eventually acquiesce to make me go away. So I thought, if nothing else, I could become a character in one of Bret's songs, like the annoying electric guy or something, or that it would work out. And then, all the stars lined up. So I think that, that whole, certainly the award and the recognition at the State Hall of Fame, I think helped fuel it a little bit. But I reached out to Bret and had a discussion. And, and certainly last year, it's been such a struggle for everyone. And for me, in the back of my head, I thought, what a better way. And the last couple months, my mantra has been, we're back. Mm-hmm. So what better way to be back than to have the Badleys back? I mean, only the Beatles would almost excite me as much as the Badleys.
Well, Bret, how much arm twisting did it take? You when you left the Badleys almost 10 years ago.
2014.
Yeah, you didn't want to go back. You know, we've had. I tried to talk him into it too once, Mike. I was at Tony's Wine Cellar. I had a couple beers to me, and I go, "You guys should do at least one last show at the Kirby." And Bret just stared at me, and that went nowhere. So how did he get you to do it, Bret?
I mean, he did annoy me a lot. Mike did. Mike was relentless. I mean, we have a long history. You know, I mean, I've known Mike longer than I've known the Badleys. Mm-hmm. You know. So
you went to college together.
Yeah, we
right?
went to school together. So probably I was maybe 19 when I met Mike. You know, so I mean, we played that gig down to the Hall of Fame, the Whitaker Center, the Central PA Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame, and even before we did it, we were kind of like, you know, I don't know if we're going to get out of this unscathed. You know, I don't know if we're going to get out of this without playing a gig. Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, I don't know if I had that talk with Mike, but you know, there were the offers were starting to come in.
Once they saw that you were doing it.
No, that we had played 3 songs,
right?
You know, and they just started getting turned down. Nope, not doing it. Nope, not doing it. Nope, not doing it. And then Mike sends me his biannual. Hey, you know, and
pitch plea.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, I couldn't be happier that was who we ended up finally caving and playing a show for.
That's awesome.
You know,
awesome.
So it wasn't you know, it wasn't like we played the Hall of Fame thing and it was like, okay, let's do shows.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of
still took a little bit after that.
Yeah.
And Mike was the one that was able to.
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy that's where we finally decided to do it.
Well, we're going to talk about the event. We're going to talk to Mike and Bret throughout the rest of the show. We're going to tell you where you can get tickets. We're going to tell you about some of the other activities that'll be happening at Pittston Prohibition. But let's get to the music here. This one's from the Badleys. This one's called The Next Big Thing from Diamonds in the Coal.
Who's next? The kings of America were falling out of fashion. The system systematically was shooting out their lights, driven to a level of paparazzi commerce. They bid the public an ugly good night. Well, the saved and the brave, the concealed and the well-heeled, the maintained and the drained, the walking dead and the well-read all have a stake in the model and the make of the latest attractions. I said, can you tell us who's the next big thing? Can you tell us who's the next big thing? We know they ain't gonna last, but it's always a blast to devour every second. The girl in the pressure cooker's losing on the street now. The brains at the stall say she's dying by degrees. It tells her self-abuse and a criminal citation. Her sun is setting in a Hollywood sea. Well, there are an ends. The fight and the fight. For the disease and the bleed. And down in the street crowd, I want a place of the latest leaves to stroke the head of their condition. I said, can you tell us who's the next big thing? Can you tell us who's the next big thing? We know they ain't gonna last, but it's always a blast to devour every second. Get on! Well, the same and the brave, but it's always a blast to devour every second. Said, can you tell her who's the next big thing? Can you tell her? Can you tell her who's the next big thing? Can you tell her? Like fire burning in the kitchen sink, like choir that can't agree on what to sing, like a wild river that just can't find a whim. You change your mind 1,000 times, deciding to stay. Just don't give a damn. Like a higher power, nobody cares to understand. Like a horse on a merry-go-round, spinning out a counterfeit. Just running round in circles, not getting anywhere. Better to guide them to the sides, better to lead than to be led, better to act and analyze, better in your hands and in your head. Easier done than said. Easier done than said. Easier done than said. Easier done than said. Like a tree that doesn't grow, but it's afraid of the sky. Like a lamp that doesn't glow, doesn't wonder why. Like a cigarette that's burning on the side of the road. A little less concerning, but don't tell you where you go. Better to live than to explain, better to ride than to rent, better to go than to complain, better in your hands and in your head. Easier done than said. Easier done than said. Easier done than said. Easier done than said. Easier done than said.
Badley's here on Music on the Menu with a song called Easier Done Than Said from the album The Unfortunate Result of Spare Time. And before that, the Badleys with The Next Big Thing from the Diamonds in the Cool album. We're hanging out here with Bret Alexander and Mike Lombardo. We're talking about the Pittston Prohibition event coming up next Sunday, September 19th. Bret, just to, before we move on and talk more about the event next Sunday. Obviously, if things didn't go well for you, I mean, both you and Paul had left the band, as you said, 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago now. How was that for you in Harrisburg? I was there. I talked to you briefly for a minute or two, but as a fan sitting in the Whitaker Center, it looked like you were having a good time.
To be honest, it was like riding a bike.
Yeah.
I play those songs often.
Sure.
For myself personally, and whatever format or show that I'm doing. So it wasn't like I hadn't played them in 8 years. I'd probably played them in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
So it was very familiar, and the kind of the sort of lineup of the chemistry of it was just really familiar. We played the songs. We didn't rehearse. We played the songs in sound check just to make sure everything was working, and then we played them in the show. And that was it.
And so that went well enough personally too with everybody that you were willing to look at maybe after Mike pestered you, you were willing to go on and consider doing. Because fans are asking. They're like, "Well, what's going on? Is the Pittston show the only one?" You said there were a lot of offers that came in. Will there be an album next year? I mean, is this sticking your toe in the water?
Well, when a couple breaks up and they get back together, sometimes you sleep on the couch for a while. It's like. That's where we are. And I don't mean me personally. I mean, there's no one in particular that anybody's pissed at.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? There's none of that. There really wasn't any of that for the last 10 or 8 years or whatever it was.
Right.
Like nobody was mad at anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It was just just no one initiated anything to happen.
Okay.
And that's all. So right now, I mean, we're playing this gig. There's been my buddy Travis has offered us other shows. Some of the, this one's outdoors because I'm, and with my health and stuff, I'm only playing outdoors. So that was an added bonus. That was an added bonus of this particular gig that, besides Mike and a great venue and everything, all the other cool things, just that fact that it was outside was something that, made it available to me.
Let's talk a little bit more about exactly what's coming up in Pittston after we play a couple more tunes here. This one's with Bret on vocals from the Badleys, from Amazing Grace, one of my favorites. It's called Poison Ivy.
You are my poison ivy. You are my disease. You are what I must walk through to get to what I need. You're my treasure care. You are my situation, and I give thanks for that. But seems like we've come a long way. Yeah. Seems like we've come a long way. Seems like we've come a long way. Yeah. Seems like we've come a long way. to get to what I need, to get to what I need, to get to what I need. With nothing, a crystal, a picture, a dead potted sage, a dusty white curtain, the nose prints of a dog, a shot glass collection from his truck driving days. Luther's bedroom inside has an oven with air that's a stare of old forgotten bread, and a cage on the dresser, there's a parrot that talks, but her name over and over is all it says. Turn your back to the sun, on the shadows, look beneath the stars, you see only night, like a homesick sailor, who's standing in the window, watching the world floating by him tonight. Luther's hands once held a train, the keys to a home in a blue Chevrolet. Now lives with his mother, steals all liquor, chain smokes and stares at the ceiling for days. Turn your back to the sun, you see only shadows, look beneath the stars, you see only night, like a homesick sailor, Luther standing in the window, watching the world floating by him tonight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. He's watching the world floating by him tonight. Luther sitting by himself on the sofa, his head bowed down but his eyes are open wide. I'm a one-man revival with an electronic Bible, listening to the parade going by. And the bass drum is pounding, the trumpets are playing, and he's reading a verse of St. John. Sugar line seeps through the blind, Luther pulls down the shade until he makes up his mind. Well, turn your back to the sun, you see only shadows, look beneath the stars, you see only night, like a homesick sailor, Luther standing in the window, watching the world floating by him tonight. It's floating by him tonight. It's floating by him tonight. It's floating by him tonight.
Badley's here on Music on the Menu with a song called Luther's Windows from the record Up There Down Here. It's just brilliant songwriting on that song, Bret. It's such a cinematic, picturesque song. One of my favorites.
Thank you.
In your catalog. Before that, one of my other favorites, Poison Ivy, from the Amazing Grace record. Now, we've got Mike Lombardo on the phone, the mayor of Pittston. He's joining us here in the studio with Bret. Mike wanted to be with us, but he was doing mayor stuff. He does work a lot. And so he was up in New York, over the state line, traveling. And so we've had him on the phone. But, Mike, let's talk about Pittston Prohibition. First of all, I want to compliment you on something. I know I told you this on the phone when we were talking the one day, but I want to say it on the air. I was at dinner in Pittston one day earlier this summer at one of the restaurants on Main Street. And I walked out and I was with my girlfriend. And I said, these buildings on this street are old buildings. They're no different than the old buildings on the main streets in any of these other towns around Wyoming Valley. But this street is vibrant. These buildings are full. There's people here. There's activity here. And I give all of that credit really to the people of Pittston and to you and your chamber and all the work that you do there, because it really is a great little town. And that's not easy. That takes a lot of work. Well, you could see all of the hard work that you have put in when you just stand there and look up and down Main Street.
Well, thank you. And, you do, it is, and it's been a long, 20 plus years for me at it. But, I have to say, I'm really fortunate. I'm surrounded by really, really a good staff and a good team. And lately I've been saying this over and over. It's easy to look good when you're surrounded by great. Mm-hmm. And I've got a great team around me. But I think the other important piece is that for me, this move forward wasn't only about, how do you get the city back up on its feet, but it's really about a celebration of Northeast PA and the people here. And it's really about us becoming our own fans. And I think that's the part that we had lost. And that's why we sort of slipped backwards. So when I looked at how do you do that, one of the core strategies was to move the arts center stage, so to speak. And it's the visual arts. As you know, we've done a lot of that in the city.
The art walk, the mural.
Sculptures, right, yeah. But all of that, certainly music is a critical part of that. And, Alan, and you and I have had lots of conversations about music. And actually, my original friendship with Bret was I walked by this dude's dorm room and saw the most incredible stacking of milk crates, for those of us that remember what those were, filled with albums. And I thought, this guy's got to be a good guy with all that music. And that was the first introduction. The upper floor of Swartz Hall. I met Bret Alexander and his great music collection, and we were sort of friends since then. But the music piece is great, and even with the art walks, Bret has played many of times out on the street there, and music will continue to be a strategy, and so that's sort of how that's the base of all that we do, and Prohibition is sort of the Pittston Prohibition event is really what I'd like to call a birthing of a bigger idea, and the bigger idea is that I would like to really move to the point where we can do a music festival. That'll be a multi-day, like the Tomato Festival. So this is a test run, and we're going to finish a larger permanent stage up on that site, and it'll be great because I mark a lot of my life and time by what was going on musically, and I believe that in the future I will look back fondly and say, how this got all started? We did that event, the Prohibition event, badly.
We're going to talk more about getting tickets and how to some of the vendors and so forth and the other components as well. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit just about Pittston itself, because your hard work is notable and noticeable.
Thank you.
And we congratulate you on that. Here's another one from the Badleys, certainly appropriate for the big anniversary that we all recognized yesterday. We will.
Everybody's talking. Everybody's got something they want to say these days, and I don't know how we're gonna get through this one, and I don't know how we're gonna get through this one, and I don't know Everybody's already made up their minds this time, and I don't know how. I don't know how we're gonna get through this one, and I don't know how we're gonna get through this one, and I don't know how, but we will. A taxi cab isn't all that dreams. Well, I can go anywhere for a fee. And the driver, he always calls me brother, but he don't look like me. No, he don't look like me. Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, and give me more than my money's worth. Give me peace, give me love, give me understanding, and my own jet plane coming in for landing. And man, there's no heaven, it's so easy if you try. And the hell below us, and above us only sky. And all the good people living for today. But I don't know how we're gonna get through this one, and I don't know how we're gonna get through this one, and I don't know how. Colors change before your eyes, I don't think you realize. And if I'm singing in cliche, would you join me anyway? Too many changes at the same time. Too many changes at the same time. I'd wish you'd put me on display, yeah, I admit I feel that way. You take a name, you give a ring, but love's colors change before we rise. I don't think you realize. And if I'm singing in cliche, would you join me anyway?
Badley's here on Music on the Menu with a song called Too Many Changes from 2002 from the Renew record. And before that, We Will from 2009 from the Love is Rain record. We're hanging out here with Bret Alexander and Mike Lombardo. We're talking about the upcoming Pittston Prohibition Fest. Now, Bret, get back to the Badleys and music for a second. Were you at one time working on an album where you were reworking some Badleys tunes?
Yeah.
Is that still in?
Yeah.
Is that still a project you're working on?
Yep. I have not finished. I didn't finish it over the pandemic, largely because I didn't really have anybody in the studio, and I can't play drums.
Okay.
so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have probably about 4 songs to finish on that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing that. You got to come back
I will.
and play that for us when that record is done, because I know, you've been singing a lot of the songs that you wrote with the Badleys live so much over the past 8 years.
Yeah.
That you didn't sing on originally. That you've probably taken. I remember Sting put out a record about 2 years ago where he did something similar with his songs.
Yeah.
And he was asked about it in an interview, and he said, well, I may have recorded the song a month after I wrote it. It's had 12 years or 20 years to grow.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I just wanted to do like a collection of things that to kind of line up with all these shows that I play. I play these songs, and then there's no version of them with me actually singing them that exist, to listen to outside of the live show.
Oh, we're really looking forward to that album.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that. Now, Mike, getting back to the event, besides the Badleys, so I believe we're playing from 3 to 5? 3 o'clock to 5? 3, yep. What else is going on there? I mean, what kind of brews and activities and vendors are going to be on hand?
So we have, it's called Pittston Prohibition because it centers around crafted beverages, and there's tons of them in Northeast PA. So, we've got a bunch of vendors that are showing up that are micro distilleries. We've got some wineries. We've got SBC Brewing and a couple the other local brewing companies that will be attending. And then we've got a couple other vendors, and we've got some food vendors. So it's really an event, built around that sort of that other artisan area of, artisan crafted brews now, which is really big all over the country and really all over the world. So we also have, before the event, there's a Northeast Cornhole tournament that kicks off, I think, at 11 o'clock. So, it's really a couple hours of just, I think, really thought out, cool celebration of Northeast PA and some of the great stuff that we have to offer up here that you can hear, taste, and smell.
And our show is going to air here. We're 6 days out, or almost a week out, actually. And so you can still get advance tickets online, correct?
Sure.
Through the Pittston City website?
Yeah, well, you can go to downtownpittston.com.
Downtownpittston.com.
Correct. And then go to the events tab, and it'll drop down. And it walks you through it. It's pretty easy. And I'll add this. With the cost of the ticket, which is early admission registration is $15, you also get a $5 credit that you use back towards a food or a beverage purchase.
Terrific deal.
And we've got some sponsors that we'll announce as we get closer. But we think it's a great opportunity. We always our events to be reasonably positioned and priced so that we can get people out, and that's what it's about. I mean, it's really just about celebrating all those things. And again, I want to circle back. It's why it's so great to have this inaugural event, have the Badleys and my good friend Bret.
Terrific.
Part of it. It's just super
terrific band. It's going to be a special day, and I could speak to one of those sponsors. It will be the Luzerne County Visitors Bureau, because I think we signed up for that right away as soon as you told me about it. So we're happy to be a part of that as well. Let's play another one from the Badleys here. You recognize this one, everybody. This one's called Fear of Falling.
Well, last night I dreamt of flying over hillsides in the snow, and I drove down through the clouds to the valley there below. When the fields turned into parking lots, my freedom turned to dread. The ground rose up to greet me, and I jumped up out of bed. You can fly, fly, fly up to any way you choose. You can try, 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 but eventually you'll lose. It seems there's always something trying to bring a good man down. I have no fear of falling, but I hate it in the ground. I'm searching through my sofa trying to find some extra change. I thought that I knew everything till everything changed. Now I'm standing on an island that is singing into the sea, and all that I can do is just enjoy the scenery. Well, you can fly, fly, fly up to anywhere you choose. You can try, 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 but eventually you'll lose. They say a man is sweet soft music just before he drowns. I have no fear of falling, but I hate it in the ground. I have no fear of falling, but I hate it in the ground. Yeah. You and I have followed six, so there's lines that we don't cross, and we live happily ever after inside this little box. Well, but you just can't take a lion and throw him into a cage and expect him to be thankful for the shelter that you gave. You can fly, fly, fly up to anywhere you choose. You can try, 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 but eventually you'll lose. The more you try to cling to me, the less I'll stick around. Alright, I have no fear of falling, but I hate it in the ground. I have no fear of falling, but I hate it in the ground. I have no fear of falling, but I hate it in the ground. The more you try to cling to me, the less I stick around, I stick around. find some courage in the deal. I've tried to dance around the way I feel, and if it all adds up to be just a rhythm and a but he will return. If he's worth anything, for your heart will never listen to the twisted words inside of you. Renew your faith. Renew your vows to each other. Renew your faith in me. You bit the hand that fed you, but when it pulled away, you claimed that it was stealing from you anyway. Love, it's not about waiting. Love, it's not about vision. And love, it's not just a feeling, it's a decision. It's a decision. And if that all adds up to be just a rhythm and a melody, renew your faith. Renew your love for each other. Renew your faith in me. Renew your faith. Renew your love for each other. Renew your faith in me. It's what you do that matters. It matters what you do. Yeah, it's what you do that matters. It matters what you do. And you do it. And you do it. No matter what. No matter what. Renew. No matter what. Took a ride up through the mountains to the edge of my hometown. Made me feel just like an angel looking down. All the places I remember, all the people still the same. All the things I ran away from that remain me. All my life is like a drive back home. Can't you hear me singing? Can't you hear me singing? All my life is like a drive back home. And I know why. Leaves were falling in the graveyard where my grandmother's body lies. And I swear I heard her sing as she cried. All my life is like a drive back home. Can't you hear me singing? Can't you hear me singing? All my life is like a drive back home. I know why. There ain't nowhere that you can run to. There ain't nowhere that you can go. There ain't nowhere that you can run to. There ain't nowhere that you can go. They say that nothing lasts forever. evil is the thunder. Love is rain, rain, rain. And there may not be forgiveness for all the things I've done, but I'm still my mother's child, my father's son, son. All my life is like a drive back home. Can't you hear me singing? Can't you hear me singing? All my life is like a drive back home. And I know why. There ain't nowhere that you can run to. There ain't nowhere that you can go. There ain't nowhere that you can run to. There ain't nowhere that you can go. There ain't nowhere that you can run to. There ain't nowhere that you can go. There ain't nowhere that you can run to. There ain't nowhere that you can go.
Badley's here on Music on the Menu with a song called Drive Back Home from Love is Rain. Before that, title track from the Renew album. And before that, Fear Falling from the River Songs record. It has been so much fun here tonight to have Mike Lombardo and Bret Alexander in the studio with us talking about Pittston Prohibition coming up next Sunday. It's an all-day event. Badley's play at 3 o'clock. First time the original band has played on stage here in northeastern Pennsylvania in about 8 years. So something to look forward to for not only fans here in northeastern Pennsylvania, but all over the region. I know there's people going to be driving in from out of town and so forth. Mike, can you give us that website again where you could get tickets for City of Pittston? Is it downtown?
Downtown Pittston. Yeah, downtownpittston.com. Go to the events section.
Downtown Pitt. Mike, thanks so much for calling in. We appreciate it. And
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And
Look
Bret,
forward to seeing you.
Can't wait to see you as well, Mike. And Bret, just, I think the fans know because they've seen you out gigging, but obviously we talked about it here on the show quite a bit because we tried to do a benefit for you in the middle of the pandemic, the Banding Together for Bret, which was going to be such a great night. But
appreciate that.
The health, you're really rebounding well from the surgery.
Yeah, I did. I feel better than I did pre-surgery for certain.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm in better. I'm better than I was.
That's awesome. Well,
that's for certain. Yeah.
We all, we all love you so much,
thank you.
and
Likewise.
That means so much to
Awesome.
us, and to know that you're doing well, to see you well, and we can't wait to see you up there on stage with your old band.
I will be there
next Sunday. It'll be a lot of fun.
I will be there.
Leaving now as always. Thanks again to Mike and Bret for coming in. Leaving now as I always do with the Badleys. I'm sure they'll play this one next Sunday. This is Angelina's Coming Home. We'll catch you next week.
What an intersection. say